Welcome back to Game of the Week. This is the third installment, and we're going to be talking about a game called Backpack Hero. This isn't your typical dungeon crawler. It plays like a roguelike inventory management sim where how you arrange your gear actually matters. It's kind of like Tetris with a little bit of Diablo. Each item has unique effects depending on where it is and what it's next to. You move from room to room, fighting enemies, collecting loot, and trying not to die. The turn-based combat is pretty fun, and your real power comes from the backpack layout. So, let's talk about it. In the deep, dark dungeons beneath Ordaria, a young pack rat searches for treasure. There, she discovers a mysterious relic, which basically looks like a crappy backpack. Yay.
Life.
Oh, go figure. Look at that. Oh, look at that.
Now on to managing your inventory. This is where the heart of the game is. You start with a small pack and earn more space as you go. The trick is optimizing your placement. Shields need space to activate properly, weapons need to get damage bonuses if they're positioned next to certain relics or accessories, and some items just take up an annoying amount of room. You're gonna spend a lot of time just rearranging things. You can look at the item's information to find out more about them, and then you'll level up and you'll get more space in your sack. You'll get new backpack space by leveling up, and then you'll choose your layout: horizontal, vertical, L shapes, weird crosses, and you pick how to expand it. That'll determine what gear is gonna fit you best, the layout that you use. Planning your backpack becomes a game in itself, especially once you start getting combo items, things that work together. You can inspect the items to find out more about them so you can figure out the perfect synergies. There's a lot of things to discover here. I've already been playing it for 12 hours and I've found a lot of different options. It's a lot of fun. Also, I want to point out that the levels all have this transition screen that reminds me of old school Sonic games. Onto additional mechanics. So there are status effects, there's elemental damage types, there's curses, there's poison stacking, there's vampirism, there's spikes. It gets deep. It gets deeper than it looks at first glance. You can build around almost anything. There's bleed builds, there's defensive tanks, there's mana users, there's brute force. It rewards your experimentation. I found myself making some builds that relied on just using my shield and leveling up my spikes so high that they'd kill themselves by hitting me. In other scenarios, I would poison myself and also spread poison to them. Now, there's a weird cast of characters that you'll meet. Some of them are shopkeepers, they'll offer trades, others are just strange. There's a frog that sells accessories out of the sewer. There's a bird that wants to tell you poetry in exchange for items. It's pretty cool. There's also a forge with some kind of badger that'll level up your equipment and make it stronger. It's a lot of fun. But this turtle really freaked me out. Definitely smelled like some kind of plant. On to crazy builds. Now this is where the game gets good. You can stack energy relics to take infinite turns, or build a pocket full of throwing stars, or make a backpack entirely out of spikes. I had a run where my whole build was one dagger and a bunch of combo boosting gear, and it worked almost until the end. There are little distractions throughout the game in your run as well, things outside of just normal battling. There's mini games that you can get involved in. There's also little power-ups that you can receive just from talking to various people. There's different pathways that you can choose that might close off one way or another way from you in the future as well. Losing a run, it happens. You think you're the best, you have like this amazing build, and then you come across these mobs that start hitting you for like 40 damage, and because your layout isn't exactly right, you're done. You get to pick one item and take it back to Ordaria with you, and then you get to adventure again. Now, if you win a run and it actually goes through, and you have that synergy, and you one-shot the boss and you take it all out, then you're going to take the whole backpack out with you. You're going to get all of that stuff back to Ordaria, where you can then use it to help rebuild the town, sell it for your own benefit. Now, talking about the town, the Story of Haversack Hill. When you're outside of the dungeon, you're also helping to rebuild this hometown and attract people to it. Each run gets you these resources that'll help you build new shops, unlock more characters, and expand the village in a different way. It gives the game some meta progression that happens in between these grind sessions, and it's a lot of fun. It almost reminds me of Stardew Valley, when you get to like customize your own little farm. You get to customize your own town. I love it. Onto that rebuilding process. The different buildings have different perks. You have a forge, now you can upgrade your weapons. You have a library, now you have spell books. It makes each run different and varied. You can eventually get a town hall, so you can do all of your research from one location. Selling for resources. Once you scrap that unused gear, you'll get gold or materials, and then sometimes even treasure. Sometimes it's better to sell off all of your early items instead of just keeping them around, so it'll help you with the long-term part of the game. But there's also researching items. So some buildings will let you research gear, and you'll need specific items to complete those research tasks. You'll pay with gold sometimes, or you might pay with other materials sometimes, but a lot of times they're looking for specific items. Maybe a magic item, maybe a ring, maybe a shield, maybe a helmet. They want something specific. You can also unlock costumes. So there are cosmetic unlocks too. Costumes and skins for your character that don't really change the gameplay at all, but I think it's a nice bonus. I felt pretty cool putting the mouse into like a little Ninja Gaiden outfit. If you're attached to a specific character, it just makes it more fun. So, game review time. What is the score? I think Backpack Hero is one of those deceptively simple games at first that kind of gets under your skin. You start to think about different builds, different tactical planning. You start hoping for different things to make a build work as you're going through, and if you don't get it, you find ways to make it work anyway. It's weirdly satisfying doing these little inventory puzzles. Sometimes you'll open up a chest and not take anything with you. I still love it though. I love that type of game, and I think that this game is a solid 8.5 out of 10. It's addicting as hell, and I love it. I was really happy to play it. Now, a couple of other notes that I want to bring up. This game was released on November 14th of 2023 by the developer Jaspel, and it was published by Pretty Soon and Indie Arc. As of right now, it has over 6,900 very positive reviews as an average, and its recent reviews are mostly positive. That's all. If you enjoyed Game of the Week, I'll keep doing it every Friday. Tune in and you'll see it usually around 10 a.m. EST. And that's it. I hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great week. Bye now.